follow you home.
You follow me home?
Make sure you're safe.
Do you love Christian Slater? How about Marisa Tomei? Have you ever wondered what a romantic drama with the two of them would look like? Well, wonder no further. In 1993, they starred in a romantic drama together called Untamed Heart. Roger Ebert called it a fairy tale with dishwasher hands, whatever that means. He also alluded that Tomei and Slater should reprise their roles in 20 years, and it looks like we're about 10 years late, so we should get on that. But I have some notes if a remake were to happen, which it definitely won't, and I'm sure you will too. The movie opens with a story being told to a young boy. This happened a long time ago, and we know that because it is dripping in desaturation. The boy, Adam, is living in an orphanage and is suffering from a heart condition. A nun tells him that his father was a great adventurer who stole enchanted rubies from a baboon king. Yes, a baboon king. He fought the baboon king but was subsequently killed in the fight. The baboon king, learning that Adam's father needed the rubies to heal his son, gave up his heart for the boy. Now forget that for a while. It'll come back later, I promise, though I wish it didn't. Now we are going to get into the meat of the movie. We're in the present day, which happens to be the early 90s, because that is when this film was made. Sit to the song Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega, you know. I'm gonna cut that, that was shit. Caroline, played by Marisa Tomei, is rapidly getting ready for a date. I like the editing here, her going in and out of frame. It goes together somewhat seamlessly. It's a nice transition, I guess. Also, I'm in love with Caroline's red top. Actually, I'm just in love with Marisa Tomei. Caroline's date arrives. Right away, she can tell something is off. Eventually, she gets it out of him. He gives her the, "we should start seeing other people" speech. The, "it's not you, it's me." Obviously, she gets upset. As we soon learn, this is a recurring incident in her dating life. She goes to the diner to tell her best friend and fellow waitress Cindy about the breakup. Another waitress comes over and they discuss Caroline's dating history. The message here is that she goes through guys so fast that her friends can't even keep up. The other waitress, whose name I never bothered to learn, declares Caroline is too nice. She lets these guys walk all over her. This is to be one of Caroline's defining characteristics of the movie, one of her flaws, if you will. Feeling defeated, she leaves. And here is our first view of adult Adam, who grew up to be Christian Slater, watching Caroline walk past the window. He lingers a bit too long. Nothing crazy though, right? The next night, Caroline is at work. It's a busy night, and with the busboy nowhere in sight, she goes to find him. She finds him, just standing there. His hand is bleeding. Because he's appearing to be a little helpless in the situation, she washes his hand for him and bandages it. She tries to make conversation, which consists of her talking and him staring at her. During this conversation, she recalls seeing Adam working over in a Christmas tree lot. She tells him she loves real Christmas trees, but her family uses an artificial one now. This is an important detail for later. Back up front, two guys are abusing her cigarette machine. They give her some trouble.
Now, what brand?
Marlboro Lights. 100s, please.
Once they get their cigarettes, they sit down and specifically ask for her to be their waitress. And I think you might know where this is going. They both proceed to be asses to her. It's the end of the night. She's walking her way home when a car swerves in front of her. It's the two assholes from earlier. They follow her, trying to get her to come with them. She turns them down. They cut her off when she reaches another road. They get out of the car, still trying to get her to go with them. She declines and continues on her way. They follow close to her, harassing her and getting more irritated as she tries to ignore them. Sensing a sinister turn, she runs. They chase after her. Before he can get any further, Adam comes out of nowhere and beats the thugs. He covers an unconscious Caroline up with his jacket and carries her home. He places her on the porch swing and sits on the steps, patiently waiting for her to wake up. She comes to and panics upon seeing the diner busboy staring at her from the steps. It clicks then exactly what happened. Without them saying a word to one another, he he leaves and she goes inside. We find out that Caroline has called in sick every day of the week following the incident in the park. She goes to the mall one day, and while riding the escalator, a hand reaches out and touches hers. It's Adam. Why is he here? A random occurrence, perhaps? It's a random scene. It's never mentioned again later. But now think back to a couple scenes ago. Adam just saved her from being SA'd, and maybe even saved her life. However, this wasn't an incident of right place, right time. He also knows where she lives. Oh, you think there's a wholesome, innocent explanation for this? Well, think again. Caroline, now back at work, is told by some of the customers that one of the guys who was banging on the cigarette machine was seen with black eyes, bumps, and bruises. She rushes over to Adam and pulls him aside. She questions him. Has he been following her home? How does he know where she lives? He says nothing. Instead of pushing for an answer, she thanks him for saving her. He then confesses.
I follow you home.
He does follow her home. He adds that he does it to make sure she gets home safe. He apologizes for not getting to her sooner. We then get another one of Caroline's flaws, as told to us by Cindy. She never follows through with anything. This will be told to us again and again. Caroline then accidentally stumbles across Adam, who is getting changed.
It's Squidward. Try to imagine him in his underwear. Oh no, he's hot!
Peep the giant scar on his chest. Somehow he doesn't notice her watching. She goes inside and asks him if he likes hockey. He doesn't respond, and says they should go to a game sometime. I know he saved your life, but he also follows you home. Maybe don't ask him to do things outside of work. It's past 2 a.m. and her little brother is late to pick her up. Eventually she decides to walk home, but she's hesitant after what happened last time. Who wouldn't be? Adam then comes outside and silently they begin to walk together. He tells her he wants to show her something. She agrees. She's cautious when he takes her to his home, but nevertheless goes inside. If him following you home wasn't a red flag, this should have been. Inside his home she finds a picture of herself. The alarm bells start working again and she leaves. I tell you, this movie will seem cute at times, and then everything gets ruined by Adam's stalker tendencies. We aren't going to sugarcoat that. He is a stalker. It's Christmas morning. Caroline's stepfather wakes up to find their little artificial tree destroyed. Caroline then finds a real tree in her room, decorated and everything. The alarm bells must be broken because she doesn't even question how the tree got there. She's ecstatic to have woken up to a real pine tree. In fact, she brings homemade cookies to Adam's house, which he proceeds to eat right in front of her, and then looks utterly disgusted by their taste. He then proceeds to give the cookies to his dog, who gratefully appreciates them, unlike him. She thanks him for the Christmas tree. She's not stupid. She knows it was him, but why she isn't panicking is beyond me. She questions him in a roundabout way, saying she doesn't even want to know how he got into her house. I would like to know. We'll find out later that he goes in through the basement window. He shows her some of his old records, which he tells her are magic. He says they can stop the rain. He got them from the head nun at the orphanage where he grew up. He then tells Caroline the story about his heart. You remember the story about the Baboon King and the baboon heart? Caroline believes this is just a story the nun told him. This isn't real. He wholly disagrees. This is his truth. Then it stops raining. This gives some credibility to his story, but Caroline still isn't fully on board. She then asks to cut his hair. I've neglected to tell you this, but Caroline is currently in beauty school. It comes up again later, but I'm not going to tell you about that either. Here is where we learn why Adam is just so socially awkward. Because of his heart condition, he wasn't allowed physical contact and never got to interact with the other kids in the orphanage. However, there is some discourse that argues that his behavior and actions are actually because Adam is on the autism spectrum. If you have an opinion, comment it down below. Things get spicy. She cups his face. He touches her boob. She then takes him up to her room. Oh look, there's the Christmas tree. Guess this is the first time he's been in her room while she's awake. They start getting undressed. He begins to cry. She holds him and tells him she is going to fall in love with him.
You don't have to love me back.
What do you mean by he doesn't have to love you back? He's already obsessed with you. Next we see them, they are walking out of her house. His hair looks slightly better, and they kiss. They flirt a bit at work, and she invites him to come over to her family's New Year's Eve party. Adam shows up to her house, but never goes inside. Just sits on her porch swing and pets her cat all night. Which is something I would do. I get it. That sounds like an ideal party situation to me. But it is a little awkward, considering she didn't even know he was there, for hours. Sometime after, Cindy asks Caroline to double with her on her date. She already has another guy for Caroline to go with. Caroline then tells Cindy she's seen Adam. Cindy is a little skeptical about the whole thing, so Caroline confesses to what happened to her walking home that one night and how Adam saved her. She says being with him, everything makes sense. She also compares him to a little kid, which I would say makes the previous scenes more questionable.
He's really sweet. He's like a kid, but it's nice.
Cindy doesn't care about all that and still begs her to go on the double date. Caroline ends up agreeing to go. After going dancing, the group of 4 goes to the diner. Caroline is rightfully upset. Adam is working and she doesn't want him to see her with this other guy. She goes to find him, but he's taking the trash out. And he's being watched. The 2 guys who tried to essay Caroline, the 2 guys whom Adam beat up, are here for revenge. It's now their turn to beat him up. He gets stabbed during the scuffle, and he pulls out the knife. PSA kids, if you get stabbed, don't pull out the knife, go to the hospital. Let a doctor do it. You will make it worse. At the hospital, a doctor tells Caroline that Adam has a serious heart problem. He's going to need a transplant, and he's going to need it soon. He escapes the hospital to go see Caroline. She brings up the heart transplant, but he refuses to have his heart taken from him. He is adamant. She tries to coax him to go through with it, saying she loves him and doesn't want him to die. He doesn't agree, but tells her that putting the Christmas tree up wasn't the first time he had snuck into her room, nor was it the last. He says he watches her sleep sometimes. She's slightly concerned, but not nearly enough given what he just said. He tells her he's scared he won't be able to love her the same if they take away his heart. I would say, let's get on that right away. But instead she forgets what he just told her 2 seconds earlier about watching her sleep. Then we get all these cute little moments. She seemingly moves in with him, they buy a car together, he's coming more out of his shell, they do all sorts of fun stuff, looking happy, enjoying life. It's a nice little montage. Wow, I sure hope this will last. On his birthday, Caroline tells him they're going out. It's a surprise as to where. She then spots an unopened gift on his table and asks him what it is. It's a gift for her, but he wants her to open it later.
So you just gonna bring me a birthday gift on my birthday to my birthday party on my birthday with a birthday gift?
She takes him to a hockey game. We've so far learned that she really likes hockey, but we're unsure if he does, so it seems like an odd birthday surprise for Adam, but whatever. Luckily for the both of them, he gets really into it. He catches the puck and they PDA after the winning goal. Chill, bro, this is a public place.
It's very exciting, very exciting.
I have to thank his lift.
Yeah, thank yours.
On the ride home, they're still hyped from the game. They discuss how he now loves hockey and next time he'll catch a puck for her. If you've ever seen one of these tragic romantic dramas, the kind with star-crossed lovers, one of them who's terminally ill, you have probably already guessed there won't be a next time. He watches her, then closes his eyes. They arrive back at home. She tries to wake him up. Panic sets in when he won't. She listens for his heartbeat and doesn't hear one. At the funeral, Caroline tells Cindy that Adam was the one thing in life she followed through with. The one thing she didn't give up on. This message kind of feels like the opposite of a manic pixie dream girl, where it's like, oh, she taught him how to live, how to be a real person, how to be free, but it's him teaching her how to like commit to something, even though I mean he didn't do anything. That was her, but whatever. She returns to his place afterwards, coming back across the present he had left for her. Inside is his old records and a letter written on the back of a picture of them. There are a lot more words on the back of that photo, but shh, this is a sad moment. That's it. That's the movie. Did you like it? It makes for a cute romantic drama. But it could have been a lot better if Christian Slater's character was not a stalker. There's a recurring notion of Caroline never finishes things. Caroline's too nice. Caroline gets walked all over by these men. I don't know what that accent was. It was supposed to be Minnesotan. I'm sorry. Yet she falls in love with a man who has been stalking her, and this is shown to be her raising her standards and finding a real man. It certainly has nice moments. There are some things done very well, but the message of weirdo outcast wins over girl he's stalking, that she needs to raise her standards to him, is just a terrible one. He saved her life. That's wonderful, but it does not excuse his behaviors of following her home, sneaking into her bedroom to watch her sleep, keeping and displaying a photo of her without her awareness, and it does not grant him her love. She even says, "Don't take this the wrong way," before kissing him on the cheek. Whether or not he took it the wrong way, this is the direction their relationship will henceforth go, so it's a bit of an odd choice. It's almost as if the writer is trying to say something about men feeling entitled to or worthy of a woman's love and attention, but it misses the mark. The scenes lead up to Caroline's almost essay were an excellent and very accurate way of presenting that type of behavior and the trauma it can induce. It feels very real, very genuine, very lifelike. That type of behavior is not okay, obviously. But why is Adam's behavior okay? Caroline never sets boundaries with him. She just accepts his stalker tendencies. Maybe if you want to give your character who lets guys walk all over her an arc, make her set boundaries. Redeem Adam a bit by having him respect those boundaries. Whether Adam is meant to be neurodivergent or just socially unaware, the writer could have still done this while making him less creepy. And let's talk about that baboon heart. Because what? Did he have a baboon heart? It's set up like, oh, she doesn't believe him. But all these signs are given that it's true, but still we never get a real confirmation. Which I guess in the grand scheme of the things that happen in this movie, it doesn't really matter, but it would have been nice to know. Is this a magical realism story, or did he just believe a story as a kid because he never got another frame of reference growing up and now it's a part of his identity? What do you think? Tell me what you think of this movie. I've read that it's very special to a lot of people, so I'm sorry if I just shit all over it. It's not a horrible movie. It's got a high watchability quality, I think. It's easy to watch. I love Marisa Tomei. I love Christian Slater. I love Rosie Perez. So it's nice to see them all in a movie together. It's just, there are some elements of it that did not age well, but at the same time, I don't know if they were ever okay. Roger Ebert apparently thought it was okay, so I don't know. So if you like this video, leave a comment, like it, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in more movie commentaries. This has been Editions of You. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!